Good morning and welcome to a special edition of Cheap Seats. Scott Kirby, Lloyd Kirby, Jake Johnson with you today. We're at Jake's Outdoor Patio, and today we're going to teach you how to smoke some chicken thighs. Got Shane Alley with us, Dave Casebeer. They're well known through the community on their smoking skills, and they've been involved with KCBS and the Up and Smoke downtown. So today they're going to teach us how to prep a chicken thigh. They're going to show us how to get your grill ready. He's got two different grills here, kind of a beginner's model, which Shane says he loves.
Yep,
and we got a Oklahoma Joe's, where maybe it's a upper tier smoker. And Dave says he uses the wood pellets, Traeger. And you know, he says you can't go wrong. Anything you have, use it. Just whatever your preference is. So, Mr. Alley, you're going to take us through the steps on how to prep a chicken thigh. There's different ways to do it. You said there's a competition way,
right,
and just your regular,
regular backyard
style.
One, I'll just show you the backyard, and it's just fairly simple. And what you really, it's just pulling the skin off the chicken. You have to pull that skin off. And you really want to just trim all this excess stuff off, because it just looks bad for one. And that's really just basically backyard right there. Just open up your skin. And today we're using Brad Lockhart's Nuthatch Hill chicken rub. And you're going to sprinkle both sides. Stretch out your skin because you want it to fold back over, and it'll cook back on there. The heat will cook that skin back on there. So if I can just get it to cooperate here, and just roll it, tuck all that back in there, and literally that's a backyard look. I mean, because you're just feeding friends and family, and they don't care about how it looks. They just want it to taste good.
Right.
Okay,
it's
so
all about the
now this one here, this is going to be a little more time consuming. This is the way my good friend Dave showed me how to do competition chicken. And I hope I do it justice. So you're really going to do a lot of trimming on this.
The chicken thighs were purchased at IGA, so they have a pretty good product up there. And
so you want to get rid of any extra bone that's in there. You want sharp knives too, so you don't hack it. And what we're going to do is we're going to chop this little knuckle off right here, square it up. Same way with this end right here. Let's get that bone out of there. Chop that up right there. We're going to square it up right there. And now, right in here is a tendon that you want to pull out. Hang on. Cut this out right here. Because when you bite into this, as a judge right there, as a judge, and I do judge barbecue, so when you take that chicken thigh and you want a full mouth of meat all the way to the bone, you don't want anything to that's hard to chew, that makes it the tenderness chewy, and so you want to get anything that's going to keep you from having a nice tender piece of chicken. So now we got all that trimmed up right there, nice and squared off. Then we're going to take the skin and we're going to stretch this bad boy out. Now I know a lot of people have a issue with handling skin like this, but it's no big deal. Once you do it one time, it's really easy to do. I mean, just wear gloves and you don't have to feel the texture. So what you want to do is this skin is covered with chicken fat, and so what you want to do is you want to lay your knife down, get a nice good angle, and go back and forth and cut that fat right off of there. Now you don't want to do it too much. I just caused a hole right there, so you want to watch your angle of your knife, but you want to just trim that fat off right there, just like that. And what that does is once you get that fat off of there and that chicken starts to bake, it'll kind of sear it because it's thin, and then once it's done, it makes it bite through. And that's a big thing when it comes to judging, is when you judge and you bite through that chicken and you pull the skin off and it's really rubbery, it just makes for a bad score, basically. And so you want bite through chicken, bite through skin, I mean. And that's what all the competitors want, is they want a good score, and that's the purpose for all this work. And it is time consuming.
Jake, you have any questions? I see you over there just kind of observing. I know we did a lot of this prep last night because it is time consuming, and we don't have so long, right, Lloyd? And then they tend to kick us off the air, but this is something that a lot of people are interested in, but just don't know how to start or what to do. And smoking is really popular, in Logan County with our Up and Smoke contest, and just all over the nation. You guys have teams travel from I don't know how far coming here and competing, and you guys do the same. I know, Dave, you were in the competitive part of it, and you've traveled all over the place.
Yep. So now we've cleared the fat off as well. Not what a true pro competitor would do. They'd make it look better, but for time restraints, we're going to leave it at that. So you take your chicken and you season both sides, roll it up, and then what you can do is just come back through and then cut off all the excess. And that actually is an okay presentation, but Dave had done some last night, and this is actually a finished product. Look how nice and symmetric that is. That is a real competition chicken right there. So that's your finished product. So then, once you're done with that, so what we're going to do is we're going to go and show you how to prep a grill. And this is mainly for those who've always wanted to smoke and are just not really afraid to either ruin the food or not get the right temperature, or just all in all just do it wrong. But it's very, very easy. So this right here, this is what I started out on. This is really basically a beginner smoker. It's a Weber kettle, and it's called the Performer because it's that model with the table, which I recommend because you've got workspace there. And what it comes with are these baskets right here. And so when you go to smoke, you can use the baskets to offset your heat and your food. So what we have here is we've already got our charcoal already in here, and I've got a chimney lit already. So you put your charcoal on one side, and then we'll put the burnt coals on top. And then once we get our temperature up, and usually chicken is between 225, 250. Yeah, and so once you get that up to 225 or 250 between there, that's when you put your food on. And then with this Weber, which is great too, is you got two ways of adjusting your airflow. You have it down here for the updraft, and then you have it up here to allow the heat to flow out, just in case your temperature starts to climb a little too fast, which is awesome. This is probably one of the best things invented right here, that dome. And then another thing, this is really, really important too, is when you do start to smoke, if you're a beginner smoker, or even on the grill, don't go directly from fridge to the grill. Let your food sit out a little bit, let that chill come off of it, because what's going to end up happening is, especially if you're smoking, you definitely want to temp your meat after almost at finish time. That core meat will still be cold. It will be colder than the outside, so you'll get a false reading. You see what I'm saying? So if the core is still colder and you're thinking, okay, well, it's not up to temperature, you're going to kick that heat up higher, and your outside's going to get done faster, and it's going to get dry, and then eventually, it'll be dry and not very good. So always let the chill off your food. A lot of them say room temperature. I'd say half hour, 45 minutes.
Half hour.
Yep. And then put it right on the grill. So, but other than that, we'll go. And so this is basically a beginner smoker. And the reason why my family got me this one here is because we needed more room, because the food was getting better. and more people wanted to eat more barbecue. So this one right here, this is an Oklahoma Joe. And this is a completely different setup as well, because the heat box is on the outside of the smoker versus on the inside. And so, and the only difference is you're gauging your heat or your airflow through that vent right there, and through this vent right here, and you have your temp gauge right here. And it does take a lot more charcoal, but for the room, you're going to need that much more. So, but this is like medium level for a smoker, a beginner smoker as well. But other than that, that's it. We're going to fire up their charcoal real quick. Let me grab my chimney here. You guys stand back. This is going to be really, really hot. One other thing I wanted to mention too is, don't light the whole charcoal and put it in the basket, because it'll burn up quicker and you'll just keep adding more. Put the raw charcoal in there and put burnt on top of it, and it'll light the rest, and your charcoal will last longer.
Shane, we noticed you're using a charcoal chimney. Back in the day, a lot of people were using lighter fluid. Now that probably adjusts the taste of the meat, doesn't it, with the that kind of the fluid?
Yeah.
So this is a better method?
And it is, because a lot of people say that you can burn that flavor off, but you really can't. It's a petroleum-based igniter, and no matter how much it burns, I mean, by the time you really burn the flavor of the lighter fluid off, your charcoal is basically gone. This is way better. I mean, using that chimney, and I use leftover charcoal bags, and I shove it up underneath there, take a lighter, and it lights just as fast. And but yeah, I just do not recommend lighter fluid. You can always taste it, you really can. So, but other than that, these things are gonna, this will take probably about a half hour or so to get the temperature up, and this one here will probably take even less because it's a smaller cooking surface. And,
now we are on Facebook Live. Any questions that you might have for Shane? Something that maybe you've been nervous about trying, or questions about prepping your chicken? Now there's hundreds of ways to do it, and there's different things to smoke. I know we're doing chicken today, but a lot of people interested in ribs, brisket. That's probably the two most popular. Now you say cooking, the heat of your cooking, basically for, I don't know if everything, but around 250. If you keep it around 250 for just about anything you cook, you think that's on the safe side, or maybe a little lower? Or
I would say a little lower for ribs and chicken. For brisket, you can go up to about 275 for that, and keep it at that. But I would say if you were doing chicken, something small like this, I would stay around the 225, between 225 and 250.
Okay.
So, and then ribs the same way.
Now, how often do you have to add charcoal? It's probably just based on temperature. The elements of the weather can affect your smoking heat and temperature, I guess. So you just have to monitor it, or how often do you check?
Well, on a real windy day, like this is a little breezy and we're okay. It shouldn't affect it too much. But on a windy day, it's going to eat your charcoal up. In order to keep your temperature gauged, you really have to focus on your vents, because you don't want to dampen it too much to save the charcoal and then sacrifice temperature. But at the same time, you don't want to open them up all the way to keep your temperature up and then have the wind burn up all your charcoal.
Okay.
So it's just you really just have to monitor, especially with stick and coal. Stick and coal is you're babysitting it. You really are on a windy day. But on a nice calm day, you can set it and basically forget it. I mean, once you get it up at about 225, 230, and every 15 minutes, if you go out there, you know, for the first half hour, every 15 minutes, and it's still the same, you're pretty much set for the next hour. And then you come back, and then if it's fluctuated a little bit, either add it or close the vents, and then just let it cook the rest of the way.
Now, what would you say the number one fault of people smoking would be? Something that they're doing and they shouldn't do?
Two things: undercooking and overcooking.
Okay.
I mean, and that's because if you don't have a nice, real nice meat thermometer, and I highly recommend you get a good meat thermometer, okay? Because that's most important for the core of your meat, and that goes back to fridge to grill.
Now, what would the internal temp of these chicken thighs be?
A finished chicken thigh is 165.
Okay.
But what I do is, and not everybody does this, but I found it works for me, is I pull them off about 5 degrees less at 160 because they're still going to cook. Mm-hmm. And when it finally reaches, I mean, it's still going to cook, and it might reach to 165. But in between there, it's still done. You just don't want it overdone, because a well done piece of chicken is 165, but you still want it juicy and you want it tender. So I usually pull it off about 5 degrees less.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get the grill temperature up to about 250, and then we're going to throw these chicken thighs on and let them smoke. So stay tuned. We will be back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Cheap Seats. Scott Kirby with you here at Jake's Furnishings. But we're outdoors, so it's Jake's Outdoor Patio. So swing on by and check out his setup here. Speaking of setup, all right, we are with Shane Alley as we're putting on a little smoking show here. We've already went through the first segment, Shane, on how to prepare the chicken, how to prepare the grill. Now it's time to put these bad boys on the grill. Explain a little bit about what we have here. You have them marinating in some kind of liquid. Tell us what that is and what it does to the chicken thighs.
Well, this right here was marinating in a product called Chicken Soak. And what it does, it actually makes it juicy. Has a bunch of phosphates and other ingredients in there that just makes it tender and juicy, and adds another flavor profile to it. And then this right here, this is what was in here. And so, and what's in here is butter and barbecue sauce to add another flavor profile to your chicken as well. So, and all you do is just take your chicken, make it nice and pretty. Place all this in here. And then what this butter will do is not only will it add the flavor profile and the sauce too, but it'll actually tenderize it as well. So we'll just get this in here, and then we will place this on the grill.
Now, just so you know, Shane, you are live on the radio, so there's only a couple words we can't say, so don't say them, okay?
Well, I will say I'm going to be salivating here in about a half hour once this stuff starts to cook. All right, so first step is we got our grill up to temp, and you can place the pans right in the grill. You can either put it right on the grate or in the pan, however you want to do it. We do it like this. And earlier, I wanted to go back a little bit. When you're prepping your grill and you go to clean it, I don't know how many people out there still use the wire brushes. I recommend you do not use wire brushes at all, because what'll end up happening is after so many uses, the little wire bristles will flake off, and get stuck either on your grill or in your meat. Okay, so I don't recommend that. What you can do is just take you some tin foil or aluminum foil and then ball it up and then just go back and forth. And what it'll do is that foil will conform to your grate, and you'll be able to get between that and really get it clean, and it cleans just as well, if not better, and it's safer. So that
I'm guilty. I'm a wire brush user, but not anymore.
All right, so let's place these in here.
So you place them in the pan, well, obviously the smoke will be able to get to them.
Correct. Yeah, that smoke will come, and as a matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned that, because now it's time to put the wood on. So I need that wood right there. Okay. Sorry about that.
Well, I'll go get the wood.
Yeah, we're going to use maple today. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And so with an external heat box like this, you can use big chunks of wood. And so what you want to do is just place them right there. And one more should do it. Get that nice and go. And so what that'll do is that'll start smoldering, and that'll add the one flavor profile to the chicken. And so with that being said, now with this one here, we're going to take, hang on just a second, get that off of there. The wood chips that we have in the other bag over there.
Let me go grab that one real quick.
So those wood chips are different than the chunks. These here, this is going to be apple. And these here, they really should be soaked for about 15 minutes and get them nice and saturated, because one, they're thin and they'll flame up and basically burn out. But we're going to be okay today. We're going to just throw them on there and get these going too. So just remember, just to soak your chips, and then we'll get that going. We'll get the temp back up there, because our temp just dropped down to about 170. We'll build that one back up. And then let's grab this here. I'm sorry, these here are ready to go, actually. We'll grab this here and this pan right here with our butter. We're going to put the sauce in it.
So this is different from what you have in here. This is just kind of a marinade, and then you transfer that over to that?
Yes, that's that chicken soak, yep.
And then after you take it out of that, you just discard all that?
Yep.
Where do you get the chicken soak?
You can order it online. It just depends on what kind you want. You can order online, any barbecue website.
And it's just called chicken soak? Or can you make your own chicken soak?
You can actually make your own. I mean, it's almost like a brine.
Now, is it chicken broth based with other additives, or is it?
I think it is. I haven't really read the ingredients on it. You just kind of look and say.
Now you say phosphate. What does that do?
It actually kind of like gels and just keeps the juice.
Seals it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because a lot of people probably don't have phosphate in their pantry, so that's or chicken soak. So, and you can probably go online, type in chicken soak, and it'll bring up where you can order it or
exactly
make it yourself. And
all right, so there's our smoke. There we go.
Look at that
right
smoke!
there.
Holy cow, that's a lot of smoke.
Yep. See how it flamed up? So what we're going to do is.
Now you put your wood chips in dry.
I did put them in dry.
Now is that just a preference, or a lot of people want to soak them in water?
You want to soak them in water, because you don't want that flame up like that. You want the smolder, you don't want the flame. And so what I did is I just cut my vent down. I stopped all the airflow in there, which will actually kill the oxygen, kill the flame, and then
But you still have your smoke.
I still have the smoke.
The coals.
Yep. Okay. Yep. And then Same way with this one here. We are up to temperature now on this one here. Let me add one more. I didn't know if I had enough room, but we're going to add one more here. There we go. I'm going to see if I can put these in here without having to use another pan. Oh my gosh, you can already smell it.
All right, well, we have the chicken on the grills. Any other closing remarks for this segment, Shane? We'll need to go to another commercial break here. Anything that they need to know now, or just basically watch your temp?
Just watch your temp, and that's it. And it's just patience. Just patience. Don't lift up your grill lid to check it, because all you're going to do is just bring your temperature down, and it's just going to take it longer to cook.
And if you're worried about if there's enough smoke, you should be able to see some of it coming out of your grill.
Absolutely.
So that's another sign of there is smoke. So do not open your lid, because you'll lose it all.
You'll lose your temperature. That's right. And it'll just take longer to cook.
All right, well, we're going to take another commercial break. We come back, we're back to sports. Maybe get Shane and Dave on with us and just kind of tell us what they're doing today, and you can always watch this video later online, and we'll have it on our website. So if you want to smoke, this is a place to be. Stay tuned. You're in the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM. All right, welcome back to the special edition of Cheap Seats. We've got everything prepared. We got it on the smoker. Now it's time to check them. We've had the chicken thighs cooking for about an hour.
Right.
Took them off the smoker, and now what do you have to do?
So right now what we're going to do is to get them evenly cooked and evenly smoked and stuff. We're just going to flip them over, and all you got to do is just flip these bad boys over. You want to brown both sides, make it uniform. And this
what's that fancy little tool you got there?
This is called a chicken flipper over.
I call it a pigtail.
It's called, yeah, that's the name of it, is a pigtail.
And now Dave's checking the internal tip with a electronic thermometer.
See, that's done.
That's done.
Yeah, but we need to get that other brown a little bit.
Okay.
So I heard the word done. So that means the
Well,
internal temp was
170.
170. So target is what, 165?
Yeah.
So what do you do if that happens? If your
We
meat's
just
too
slow it down now, just smoke them.
And
That's that one that was down on the end by the fire.
oh yeah, that was closest to it.
The
Yeah.
other one's probably won't be that high.
All right, so those are done.
Those are done. So we've got 3 pans on here.
All right. Man, they look so good.
See, that one is about 150. 148, 150 on it too, so these are doing a little better on film.
So these are 150, and they were a little further away from the heat source, which it's important to, like you said, monitor it, and if you have to rotate it, rotate it.
Yep, exactly. And if there's any way that you can keep it far away from the heat source, the better. Oops. Gotta flip that bad boy over. There we go.
The reason you use this, like if you start picking these up with a spatula, you're going to tear that skin up and stuff. And here again with competitions, this thing puts a little bitty hole in it, cooks shut, and you don't even notice it.
Well, I guess I have to add a pigtail to my spatula and tongs.
So, and then shortly after this, once these cook a little bit longer, we'll take them out of the pan. We'll either dump the remaining juice out of the pan and let them start browning, and then we'll sauce them at the very end, add another flavor profile to them.
So there is a process. It's not just throw them on the smoker and let them cook. You got to monitor them, and like you said, add different flavor profiles. You know, first you got your dry rub that you put on, then you put them in a marinade,
Correct.
And then your butter and barbecue.
Correct.
When you're done, put more barbecue on.
That's right, because it just adds to the flavor. And cool down enough. All right.
All right. Well, we got 'em. We got the chicken thighs flipped. We'll let them cook for how long now?
Probably a half hour.
About another half hour. They'll be on the smoker, and then they'll take them out, dump the juices, let them brown up, and we're one step closer to trying these bad boys out. So stay tuned. We'll be back. Welcome back to this special edition of the Cheap Seats Saturday Morning Sports Show. We're at Jake's Outdoor Patio. We got Shane Alley and Dave Casebeer doing the next step of the chicken smoking. Now they are coating them with some Lincoln's, what's this stuff called? Lincoln's Secret Sauce that was brought to us today. Kevin Bateman is the creator of this sauce. Now Shane's putting the sauce on the chicken thighs, and then they'll flip them over, put them on the grill, and barbecue the other side for what? How long, Shane?
Probably another 45 minutes, roughly, given the temperature and the wind, depending on how fast they'll get done. And that's another thing too. You just have to monitor that, because they're almost done right now. And so we're just going to flip these over like this. A little pigtail works out great, doesn't it?
Got pictures on Facebook yet?
You're not jeopardizing the chicken, you're just kind of grabbing it.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, good luck to you, man. We'll see ya. Yep. Back.
There you go.
Did you pull his butt? Did you pull him off yet? Okay.
All right, we're going to try and make this as quick as possible, because we don't want our temperature to drop too far, because it'll take a lot more to get done here.
Are you gonna go red next?
Yes, sir. Lincoln's Secret Sauce going on the other side of the chicken thighs now. And they say this will cook about another 45 minutes or so. And then it's go time, Lloyd.
It's go time.
Are we live? Are we live? Are we live?
No.
Oh. We are not live. But we will be later, as we are at Jake's once again, his outdoor patio. Dave Casebeer, Shane Alley, generous to donate their time to kind of walk us through the steps of smoking some chicken thighs. So all of you that want to watch this video, now you know how to do it. Give us a call, we'll come over and we'll test out the finished product. Now the second batch of chicken, they're going to use a red sauce. That's looks like some Hatch Hill barbecue sauce. Yep. Another local product. And once again, the chicken all purchased from IGA. Wiped them out clean, so we apologize if you went to IGA July 4th weekend to grab some chicken thighs and they're all gone. That's because we snagged them all up.
We could have shut that too while we were doing that. I didn't use my head.
All right, well, we're going to get these rest of these chickens on the grill here. They're going to cook for another 45 minutes or so. We come back, we should have a finished product for you, so stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages. All right, welcome back to the special edition of Cheap Seats. The big reveal is here. We've started this process at 8:30 this morning with the prepping of the chicken and the grills. And then it took us through how to marinate them And then we got them on the grill, been checking them, barbecued them up,
Yep.
took them out of the pans, put them on the grill, and now they are ready to come off and consume. So if I'm going to get the cameraman around here, we're going to open this grill up and see how they turned out as they get their gloves on. And you know, free rectal exams too if you want to come by. They've got their doctor gloves on. And
Unless you want 3.
3. So if you know you want to come by and well, let's see how these chicken thighs turned out, fellas. And I'd say they look pretty good. You got 2 different sauces on them, both local guys. Kevin Bateman's Lincoln Secret Sauce is a mustard-based honey type sauce, and then you got the Nuthatch Hill sauce that they put on the other half. So everything's local today, guys. We bought the chicken from IGA. The dry rubs are local, and the seasoning. So for all you smokers out there, there's no reason to go out of town to buy your stuff, because you can get it all right here in the good old town of Lincoln. And let's keep it local. And this stuff is award-winning stuff, so it's pretty good. Taking it off the grill now. We'll get Jim over here. He can take a bite and tell us how it is.
Yes.
And we'll try to save some for Jake.
Maybe.
Well, we were the fine folks from Spirited Republic stopped by earlier, and you know what goes better with a chicken thigh than a big old Bloody Mary. Got Shane supporting right there, and they're about to open up their own flavor of beer up there, and they've got all kinds of craft beer on tap. So might have to head up there after here and get a refreshment. All right, guys. Well, I think it's a success. If it tastes half as good as it looks, and we're in good shape. Get a little close up there, Lloyd, and that's what it should look like when you take them off the grill. And
That's basically backyard right there. If that were pro, they would be so uniform and in perfect shape. But we're all about eating today, and we're not all about show. So
well,
it
looks like it turned out great. I want to thank you and Dave once again for taking some time out of a lovely Saturday morning. Probably the best weather we've had so far. 4th of July weekend. What better to sit in the backyard, fire up the grill or smoker, and smoke some chicken, some ribs, brisket, whatever you want, and just enjoy it with family. And that's going to do it for us. If you guys have any questions, this will be obviously you can watch this online. And if you have any questions, you can get a hold of Shane or Dave, the master right there. He's always willing to lend a helping hand and some knowledge, and get a hold of him. And the finished product right there. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.